Hey guys, welcome to the CryptoWave Podcast, where we keep you up to date on the latest news, trends, and people that are making waves in crypto. I'm Jennifer from Space Coast Crypto Consulting, and joining me here today, I've got my co-hosts Jesse and Joey. How's everybody doing?
I'm well.
I am good.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff to talk about.
Soon. We're still digesting. So if anybody sees us kind of get fatigued and start to get a little sugar crash,
I might be burping.
Maybe some random burps.
We had a nice little snack before we got started.
We noshed.
Yeah.
We had a little nosh before showtime today.
Courtesy of Brevard Local.
Thank you.
The most excellent circular in Brevard County.
Paper, yes.
And we had some antipasta, some pretzels, some beer cheese.
Yum.
Queso with that.
So our tummies are full, our pockets are full. Crypto's doing well, although.
Well, we saw some really good gains last week. It was like in the green for the longest time.
Saturday and Sunday, I was going nuts Saturday.
Bitcoin got up to what, 42?
43.
43?
I thought it was 43.
40-ish? Well, somewhere around there, which was
47.
That much.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. It did. I think it went up to 46 something.
That's a rally.
Yeah.
Yep, so everything is kind of going back down today, and I wonder if it could have something to do with Michael Burry. Did you hear about? You guys know who Michael Burry is?
No, tell us.
This is what's great about the show. I have no idea what may come.
She throws names at us. She gives us a script.
Because not for nothing, it's like it's a half an hour.
Yeah.
There's headlines coming up.
Every 5 minutes. There's a new headline.
I know, but she sent this.
You can't always prepare.
No, she tripped us this time.
Oh, okay.
She sent us notes, but
no, this I don't
wants us to have research.
This is new. Michael Burry, he's the famous for The Big Short, so he called the.
Oh yeah, yes. I read him.
Yes, so he is calling for. The mother of all crashes in crypto. And he's not a fan of crypto. He's not a fan of Bitcoin. He's publicly went out and said that online already. And yesterday, he has purchased 135,000 put options on ARK Invest. So ARK is Kathy Wood's investment fund where she invests in all of these future technologies, and a lot of them have crypto exposure. So he's betting on the failure of crypto and Kathy Wood.
Wow.
And yet I've been reading and I took a screenshot today.
In the mic.
And I read,
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once.
I know.
Here. And I saw this thing that today about global financial firms are citing institutional clients growing appetites for crypto.
So which is it?
Yeah, that's just it. Fidelity.
I mean, the market did one thing.
And venture capitalists are flowing into crypto space at record pace. Individual retail traders are helping propel altcoin. So it's very interesting that.
Bitcoin's been on such an upward run that it has to calm down and reconsolidate a little bit. It can't go straight up forever. So is the market reacting to this Michael Burry news? Probably not. It's probably, like you said, I mean, there's so much interest that.
Listen, this is a disruption.
I think so.
Same way taxis and metro rails or whatever, all these other public transports were crying about Uber, crying about this. It's going to take away this. The cab drivers. Oh, it's going to take away. All of it. Well, has it though? Really? I mean, either you can work for yourself or you can work with a big yellow car, whatever it is. But the whole thing is there's always going to be disruptors and there's always going to be the haters. As soon as you get into a space,
haters going to hate.
Right. They're going to come down like rain fire. And that's why most people, they don't want to succeed. They want to put themselves out there because they know they're going to get the backlash.
And here's a great example. Think about this, right? We went through all kinds of music. We went with albums, right?
Right.
What's selling again? Albums,
yeah.
We went.
When you say albums, it's vinyl.
Vinyl. Right. Forgive me. Again, I'm old again.
No, it's okay.
It's vinyl.
Hey,
we went back to vinyl. What was old? What's old is new again. So, crypto's. But you know what? It'll all level out in time. It'll all level out. So everybody's all getting all.
Well, the free market's going to decide. Yeah. I mean, what we're going to see, and I think, even though these people have to remain relevant. Relevant. It's really hard to remain relevant when you're when you've kind of done something really big, like 14 years ago or whatever,
right.
The Big Short, and when this guy did this whole thing, this put option, and that's all he knows.
Yeah.
So
he's famous for spotting bubbles.
So when something new comes out, especially a disruptor, okay, something that nobody's seen before, that has a potential to become even more popular, take a lot more market share than you ever expected. And now you got to figure out how to keep your name in there. So you make a guess. It's a 50-50 shot. It doesn't take, it's either it's going to fail or it's not. But if you want to bet against it, go for it.
We'll find out. The market will tell us the truth. And
exactly. I just don't see how anybody like this could really influence where crypto essentially, is going to belong. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be like Manifest Destiny. I think it's going to just make a lot of people successful, and it's going to revolutionize how money works, how commerce works. I think it has a lot of potential to do that, and there's people that are scared of it.
I think with crypto, you have a lot of young people that are looking at this is investment for young people now as well, where they didn't get involved too much with stocks and real estate, but they're understanding crypto. It's right in their language, and I think he's not seeing the impact that it's making, that these 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds, you get on TikTok, you look at Instagram, and you see these overnight millionaires at 16 and 17. You didn't have that in the housing bubble. You didn't have that in the stock market even before the crash.
And Cathie Wood, her investment fund, she is looking for new, innovative startup tech companies. And so that is her audience. And some of the companies that she has in the fund is Tesla, Coinbase, Square. Those all have Bitcoin exposure. And she's targeted towards those younger investors and younger technologies. Yeah.
Well, she's betting with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this guy's hedging against it.
Yeah.
But he put money, but he invested in it.
He invested in it.
Or didn't you say he invested
put
option?
Well, he bought some put options, so he's betting that it's going to go down.
Oh, he bet
against it.
He bet against it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is to each their own.
Right.
So one or two things is going to happen. He was wrong, and he'll write a book about it.
Another movie.
Right.
There's a sequel.
Or he'll be wrong, but secretly he's actually betting with it and be like, well, I did it because of I didn't want to admit that I was involved, but I was involved, and I'm sure there's going to be a story or a book about it. So whatever it is, I mean, good for him to have an opinion. Good for him to have enough money to bet where as they say, put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is. So at least he's doing the work, and he's like, this is how much I don't believe in it. And
yep, and like I said, the market will tell, so we'll find out soon enough.
In the news business, we say it's good copy, so it's good copy. It gives us something to talk about.
What else is going on?
All right, so moving right along, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Richard Nixon taking the dollar off of the gold standard.
Should I have bought a gift?
Okay, we're not celebrating that at all.
Well,
but we'll remember it. We'll remember on this day. 50
it's a history lesson.
So
50-year anniversary, huh?
Yeah. So the Nixon shock 50 years ago, August 15th, 1971. So on Sunday, it was actually the 50-year anniversary. So what caused the Nixon administration to remove the dollar from the gold standard was they were unable to hide the fact that all of these countries were starting to see how much money the government was printing U.S. dollars, and people were starting to lose faith in the ability to exchange your dollars back for gold. So we, because of the mass amount of money printing from Vietnam, they removed the dollar off of the gold standard.
And inflation didn't have something to do with inflation. Wasn't supposed to be an inflation measure as well?
So actually a lot of the same things that are happening right now, just losing confidence, inflation, and they claim it was to protect against the speculators of the dollar. We couldn't let we couldn't let other countries show that we were losing significance.
Amazing how history repeats itself, and what we've seen in the last few days.
But the funny thing is, well, I don't know that it's funny, but this is just supposed to be a temporary experiment. So this is a 50-year-long experiment.
So when does it sunset? Because I'd like to see that today.
I think it's happening now.
Even though
it's happening right in front of us now.
I don't think there's $20 million or $20 trillion worth, or whatever our deficit is at right now, whatever we owe. I don't think there's that much material on Earth.
28 trillion.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough gold or silver or bronze or copper or platinum or any other precious metal to cover that. So without fiat currency, gold standard, even if it did sunset today, I think each ounce would probably be worth $30,000 just to make it work. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. I don't think there's such a thing that could happen.
Well, since 1971, since we came off of the gold standard, there's this website that you can visit. It's www.wtfhappened in 1971.
That's funny.
And it's really, really enlightening. Everybody should check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out.
There's lots of charts that show how the inequality gap has just become so massive. Since 1971 is when inflation really kicked in, when we really started having the 1% really started seeing this increase. And it used to be when the middle class made money, the poor also would make money along with them. And now it's the 1% exponentially rising, and then the middle and lower class getting lower. Yeah.
Yeah, I had seen something similar. It showed what a loaf of bread was compared to now, how many gallons of gasoline you could buy versus what it is today. It's really disgusting what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And only a year ago, gas was $1.87, and now we're paying almost $4.
Yeah.
$5 in other parts of the country.
Yeah, $5. $2.83 here for just a unleaded, 87 grade.
And we're asking foreign countries now to produce more oil for us. But that's another show altogether.
Well, since the beginning of the pandemic, we have printed $6.9 trillion. So right now there's about 35% of all of the currency that's in circulation has been printed within the last 18 months or so, which is pretty scary. So they're going to have to keep it up at a faster rate. And the government has actually just announced that they are raising SNAP benefits and food stamps like 25% or so. So, these lower income people, they think, oh, wow, we're getting more benefits. We're getting richer, right? But really, your food is costing more. They just don't want people to notice.
Oh,
right.
People are noticing. Mm-hmm. It's not that you can't. I mean, I go grocery shopping. You go grocery shopping, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
Jennifer, you go grocery shopping. It's just ridiculous what a piece of meat costs today.
It almost forces you to start growing at home. Grow your own food, harvest your own meat. If you don't like harvesting meat, and that means butchering, a live animal to eat it, then I would suggest that maybe becoming vegan is the right way to do it.
Oh, yeah. You can
and you can still be lacto-ovo. You can still have, dairy and eggs because that's a big component of, things that are yummy. It's really hard to become just vegan. But if that's what it's got to happen. I mean, listen, there's a couple of things that are going to happen with inflation. We're going to see legislation happen, which mandates that companies have to force, they're going to force a minimum wage. There's going to be so many people leaving the workforce to trade crypto or something else, that they're going to have to offer like these inflated wages and so forth. But if they want people to not starve, and still have like some kind of semblance of a normal, like we just knew like 2 years ago, like literally, where things were good, where you could make and you could live and things you could spend and not be such a personal deficit. But now there's it's almost like if you don't make a plan for this, you're going to be stuck. And if you don't know how to grow food or trade crypto or find some other way to get commerce to come in or save every little bit, like you get a stain in your shirt, like rub that stain out. Like I don't, but it's going back to like where like pre-World War II days where there was no like disposable society. Like whatever you had to reuse, and you had to make use of it over and over again until it just absolutely just had failure. And if you don't know how to live like that and homestead and do some creative things and live off the grid and all this other stuff,
you make a really great point. Self-sustainability. You have to have a plan. Have to know how to support yourself, your family, your community when you can't rely on other people.
Well, beef is just ridiculous.
I bought. I don't usually buy skirt steak, but I bought it the other day because
it's expensive.
It really was, and it's really
it always is.
No, it's one of the lesser. It's one of the lesser.
Well, it's like a tri-tip or something else.
It's not that expensive. It really isn't inexpensive. Like the London Broil's a little bit more, or sirloin, Delmonico. It's a very inexpensive, and I just put it in the frying pan. I put some grilled onions and some teriyaki and some peppers, and I saute it. It comes out friggin' delicious.
Sounds amazing. Go for
it. It is. It's amazing. But that normally I would spend $8 for that little thing. That was $14. That little piece,
double.
Meat has doubled. Yeah,
it really was double price. I brought some chopped meat a couple of weeks ago because I was making meatballs.
The meatballs.
I was making meatballs and meatloaf. Right? No, I'm sorry, I didn't make meatballs. I was putting the meat in my sauce, and I was going to make a meatloaf. 2 things of chopped meat was almost $20. $20 for chopped meat. That's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
So it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Before it gets better. I really believe that. And as unfortunate as that sounds. Guess what, guys? It's
terrible.
Potentially right around the corner.
And I think all this is being planned. Everything we see is being planned. All this chaos is all being created as a diversion, and it's all a plan. In 8 years, and then the last 4, everything's always up in the air. Everything's up in the air so that we're diverted,
mm-hmm.
and we divided, and we saw prosperity, but that wasn't good enough. That was a diversion because there was prosperity. We didn't like that. That was no good. So now we're back to people back on food stamps where we cut welfare in almost half, and now we put people back on welfare. That's not the American way.
It's interesting, though. There's like 10 million jobs.
And there's tons of jobs. So why do we have people? Why do we have to put people on welfare?
There's 10 million openings.
I mean, these are all great questions, and I don't want this to become this like socioeconomic kind of like hard, that's cerebral, man. I can't watch that show and smoke a doobie no more. Now I'm in a rabbit hole. I'm looking up something. She told me that.
WTF.
Yeah, right.
Well, I find it interesting, and I'm just going to make one little comment, and we'll move on. I find it interesting on the 50th year anniversary.
That's very interesting.
It's all related.
And the same day that all of this in Afghanistan is happening.
Fascinating, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. So, and what I am looking at is, okay, look at the media and look at both medias, they all have the same message. It's just fear and, showing people dropping from airplanes. And what are they trying to push? Fear.
Fear, division.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I mean, we've seen a cycle before, create a problem and then have the solution. Have a deadly virus, but also have the antidote. Also, and it's come down to so many examples where all the time they're creating the chaos, they're creating the destruction, they're creating the sensory overload of a cause. They're making you get so like hell bent on one little thing. Emotionally,
engaged.
right? And then guess what? But they'll also just.
It's a diversion.
Yeah, but behind the scenes are the things that you should be getting upset about, not whether or not your neighbor's wearing a mask, but being that there's a loose border, like our border is out of control, and we have no idea who's coming over, and it's literally we're being invaded and nobody's talking about it. So there's like bigger things.
It's all related.
Yeah,
this is all related. Afghanistan, the open border. I'm sorry, it's all related, and you could shut us down, but I'll be damned. I'll be damned come knocking on our doors. But
well, that's what I think when you just mentioned that is like, okay, they're stuffing these planes of people. Who's vetting them? Who's coming?
There's no vetting.
There's no vetting.
Of course.
But
there's no name tags.
So when when everything comes here, it's gonna be the problem, and then what's the solution? Who's gonna have the solution? The government's gonna be here to save and protect everybody and take away everybody's rights.
Well, that's again, this is part of.
It's a bigger, uglier agenda.
Yeah, and this is part of an older agenda that didn't get followed through on, and there was a 4-year interruption, and it's just it's just continuing now, and nobody wants to see that, and our media is
complicit.
Blinded.
Oh, they're not blinded.
Well, yeah, they're part of it.
That would be innocent. They're complicit, so they're guilty.
Complicit, they're guilty, and America just, in a way, has a little bit of blinders on it. Don't want to believe what they're seeing because they don't feel that that's our America, and people are sympathetic, and we have taught them to be so kind, and mean tweets are mean, but yet I rather have mean tweets and have people fear us than these people standing on our airplanes and sitting in our embassy doodling on our desks and having a good time and making us look foolish, and the world is laughing, yet we're buying artwork made out of a straw. So you tell me.
All right, well, that was
I'm sorry.
That's a lot to ponder on. So when we come back from this quick break,
60 minutes when we return.
When we come back from this break, we're going to have some more news on the central bank digital currencies and talk about XRP.
Ripple. Let's do it.
You got it. Everybody loves a little Ripple.
Cryptocurrency can be confusing and hard. At Space Coast Crypto Consulting, we make cryptocurrency easy for you to learn and understand. In a world of uncertainty and out-of-control central banks, it's our mission to empower you with the knowledge that you need to confidently control and grow your own crypto portfolio. Call now to begin your crypto journey. 321-412-4021. That's Space Coast Crypto Consulting at 321-412-4021.
We are back for the second half. Holy crap. If you missed the first half, I say go back. We exploded. We made 60 minutes look like Kitty City television. We are...
It was only 20 minutes, Joey.
I'm still dizzy from our antipasta.
Hey guys, just a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and to share us so we can spread the word.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
She stepped right on our line. That's all right. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about this
Ripple.
XRP Ripple.
All right. So for those of you who don't know what Ripple is the company, and their asset that they trade is XRP. So they're currently involved in a lawsuit from the SEC. Back in December, the SEC declared XRP as, well, they're saying that they're selling it as a security. So Ripple has been in contact with all governments and been forefront with all of their information, working with legislation with governments for years now. So this lawsuit was pretty unexpected. So in December, they said that they were selling it as a security. Everybody panicked, and a lot of people sold all of their bags. How about you? You have any XRP, Jesse?
I do. And I saw it have a lot of significant gains, but it's all been
yes. So the market reacted to the news negatively. Everybody sold, tanked. So not me. I bought more actually when it corrected. And this week, there's been huge gains in XRP. So it is still actively trading in every single other country but the U.S. The U.S. is the only country who is claiming that XRP is a security. Every other country, it is trading as a security.
Interesting.
Or as a currency, I'm sorry. Right. Yes. So some bullish news that came out today.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah. Some Synchrony Bank, which is a bank that Synchrony. So they power PayPal.
Yes.
PayPal's credit card, Amazon.
A lot of credit cards.
eBay.
Yes, a lot of credit cards.
I've had a couple.
Large
Tires
companies.
Plus.
That's it.
Trek Bicycle. I've banked with them.
So they have filed for a patent, it reveals that they're going to be using XRP for settlement. So this
That's
is
exciting.
One of the largest banks. They're a private label credit card issuer in the U.S. So I mean, the patent, it was kind of just discovered through the language that they're going to be using XRP. So XRP, what it does is it facilitates cross-border payments and remittances. So essentially, it could take over the ancient SWIFT system or be used alongside with it. So they have ODL, which is on-demand liquidity, and they have some of the most partnerships out of any cryptocurrency. So what is this lawsuit all about?
Right.
And why? It almost seems like political theater, right? Because, I mean, there's no way to test if it is a security. The way that they test if it is a security with traditional finance is through the Howey test, which doesn't apply to cryptocurrency. So I believe that this lawsuit is a way to bring attention to Ripple XRP and to get regulatory clarity, to get it defined so it can legitimize it. Also, another thing that I've noticed is Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, who represents Ripple, he's on CNN, NBC. He's on all these major news stations talking about Ripple. And I don't see any other cryptocurrency companies or founders on these major news stations like talking about anything.
Right.
So he's the face that's being shown always. And does this lawsuit, even though it's like bringing negative attention, does that just like make everybody aware of the company and what they're doing, just legitimizing it?
Well, I mean, there's no bad PR, right? So even if you're in the headlines for the wrong reason, at least you're in the headlines, people get to know about you and learn about you, create an opinion about you, or just want to learn more. They're curious. Okay, it's like, okay, they're talking about this guy. Let me see, what he's about, or a product. Let's see what this product is about. Let me buy this box of cereal that everybody's talking about. Everybody has that curiosity, and so that's what PR does. Listen, anytime you could show up, and especially if you have like an open format where it's not like a debate or they're going to ask you to deliberate. They're just asking like, tell us who you are and what you do. Well, this is what I do, and this is responsibility, of what XRP is supposed to do, and these are our commitments, and these are our partners, and my goodness, it sounds better than most things that the SEC actually endorses. So I mean, there's a lot of foul brands out there, and here's people who actually are doing the work and making it to where the crypto market could actually exist and not have to wait for huge delays, not have to wait for like a wire transfer like with conventional banks, which again take days, hours. XRP is in seconds.
3 second.
XRP is instantaneous, and banks can't compete with that. The SEC, who's controlled by the banks, let's be honest. They were told to pump the brakes so people can try to get ahead or at least learn what mechanisms they can manipulate. But going back to the original, you said Synchrony Bank. Patents. And these are digital patents. These are technology patents. Are they patenting like a workaround or software? Or some kind of coding, because that's curious, because that gets me more excited. That makes me want to invest in Synchrony Bank, than their coin, or if they're going to release a coin, I want that coin, because if they're already going through all this other work, with getting a patent, that's bound to really pay dividends.
And either way,
yeah,
it legitimizes this. It just legitimizes
100%.
It like you said, bad press is good press for this.
Yeah.
So even if it doesn't become like in Europe, you said it's a coin. So what happens here if it's not? What happens? It goes on NASDAQ? Does it go on to the...
Well,
does it become...
and that's probably what they want.
So it goes on NASDAQ? Okay, so...
It's looking like it's going to be used along with the CBDC, the central bank digital currency.
Oh, there's already a CBDC. Of course there is.
Oh, yeah. So
central banks.
Central bank digital currency. So, Ripple and XRP get some negative press because it's centralized. I mean, it's going to be used with the central banks and with the big banks. But at the same time, I mean, there's still like you want to be ahead of the curve if that's where it's going, or you want to fight against it. I mean,
yeah. So I'm just gonna stand my ground. I really believe it's just a tool that the big banks are doing whatever they can to just pump the brakes, just so they could get ahead of it even a little bit, or just like pull up and get excited about where it's at and what they could do, and then I mean, they just need this train to slow down because they are so behind. And if this lawsuit can help them just get a couple more steps ahead, or just play catch up for as long as possible, because I really think that's what's going on.
And they're dragging their feet right now with the lawsuit. They're still in discovery phase.
People are talking out of both sides of their mouth right now. I hate it. I love it. You got Mark Cuban. He just said some weird, I'm not going to repeat. I'm not even going to give him that much. I shouldn't even dropped his name. But this guy MC, who supposedly is invested in it, who's really not, but for some reason, his opinion matters so much to some people, and I won't get into the whole story because I don't really know a whole lot of it. But there's just some people who just need to just shut up. I mean, unless you're going to come in there huge and with big waves, or develop your own crypto or something exciting. Just stop talking about it. Yeah,
Mark Cuban, he referred to Bitcoin as he'd rather have some bananas or something instead of...
Yes,
but he's still invested in it.
But he's talking about Doge.
And he was super into DeFi, and then his company went under or something. So he's kind of like a flip-flopper.
There's a lot of those.
He's a little shady, but people do look to him, and I mean, like you said, all press is good press.
Yeah, maybe. And not for nothing, a lot of these quote unquote celebrities, these people who have really no celebrity, but anyway, we give them attention because they're on Discovery or some other obscure channel with some weird type of talent, finding people who are desperate to find funding for their businesses. So you have a Shark Tank, and it makes these people relevant. And some of them, I don't need to know who some of these people are and how shrewd business wise. I could probably find, just like most people, if you've made it, you failed 100 times to make it one time. And everybody wants to scrutinize Trump and all these other business people. Oh, he's got a bunch of bankruptcies. It's those are business decisions. There are consequences. But when the law permits you to cancel debts and so many other things, but listen, you've got to give up collateral, you got to give up assets. You just can't say I'm gonna be forgiven of $10 million. No, you got to relinquish a building. You got to, there's all kinds of mitigation efforts.
Risk reward.
Nobody goes out of in bankruptcy as a total win. So nobody collects points oh, I got another one. High five. But a lot of businesses have to do that in order to continue to succeed, because guess what? There's legitimate business employees that need that job. You can't just put 300 people in an organization out on the street because they went bankrupt. So you have to keep the anyway. It's more of a tax thing. It's more of an accountant's thing. It's not really the decision maker of a business owner. His accountants, his tax attorneys, his people are doing all this work for him because it's in his best interest. So, I love to see the failure to success rate for a lot of these people, but you just can't harm them. You can't, badmouth them, because guess what? How many have you failed and succeeded at?
Jesse, the ones that write about it sit behind a computer. They collect a check. They don't know what it's like to run a payroll. They have no idea what it's like to chase people for money. You and I have experience doing that.
See, I got Joey woken up.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. We wake up in the middle of the night saying who owes us money. They have no idea how to do payroll. Yeah. They get a check at the end of the week or on the 15th or the 30th. Doesn't matter. They go on vacation. They put the sign on the door, leave me alone. We don't know what that's like. They have no clue how to even operate a lemonade stand. We have people who are running Congress. They've been in Congress for 50 freaking years. They have no idea how the world works. They get handed money on lobbyists. The best example is the movie with Eddie Murphy. I think it's called Distinguished Gentleman. He's sitting at the freshman dinner, and the senior congressman says to him, "Are you for or against oil?" And he says, "I don't know." The guy goes, "Don't worry about it. We have money for you, whether you like it or not." And that's how they all make money. They get their money handed to them, whether they like it or not. They have all these foundations. Their in-laws create marketing firms, ad agencies. Meanwhile, you and I got to bust our ass. F them all. They have no clue. Bankruptcy is written. You got Chapter 11, which is reorganization. And if they can't make it, they go to Chapter 7.
Right.
Now, getting back to synchronicity there. Oh, that's the Police album.
Yeah, it is.
Getting back
and don't mess with my police. So
hey, listen, if you're not failing, you're not trying.
Right.
So
that's right.
Fall forward.
That's right.
But stop giving. Getting back to my point. Stop getting these faux celebrities. These people who they want to be talked about. They crave the attention. But we don't need to listen to them regarding our investment advice. Don't listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger about how to be a patriot. He has no idea. Him and Adolf both come from Austria. I wouldn't trust him. I'm just saying.
Well, no,
throwing it out there. But anybody that says, you should be selfish because you want freedom. Don't be a selfish patriot. Don't be one of those people who like liberty. That's very dangerous talk.
But you made most of your money here in America. So
that's very dangerous talk.
So sit down and shut up.
Well, especially playing a what do they call it? A special forces.
Yeah.
You got money.
Playing a soldier.
Believing that although you've never taken an oath to protect the country, you've never done nothing.
Well, he did as a governor.
Maybe a governor, but is that more an oath to the country or more an oath to the state?
To a state of liberals.
So I rest my case. Like, he was in Liberaltopia, which Uncle Adolf. I mean, another resident of Austria would be very proud to see somebody come in there and turn a whole state into like just a mindless mush, just people who can't think, or at least hate liberty enough to just not want to think.
This is the greatest country in the world.
Because I don't have to think. The government's got to take care of me.
They all come here. Why do they all come here?
All right, back to
Joey, you always get me started.
Central Bank, simmer down, boys. Simmer down.
Because we all work hard for our money.
Well, Bitcoin, doesn't discriminate, doesn't...
Thank God.
Bitcoin fixes a lot of these problems that are just human-driven problems.
Exactly. No borders, no religion, no skin color.
Infinite printing.
Yeah.
Deflationary.
It's
so it fixes
like
the problem of war, right?
Shiba Army.
It should.
Shiba Army.
What drives war is money
Greed.
printing. Yeah.
Amongst other things, I mean, sometimes it's retaliation.
Women.
Sometimes it's a regime change. Sometimes, but yeah. Lately it's been about resources. Who has oil, who has opium.
Yeah.
Both very, very high sought after in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That's why the Russians wanted that place in the 80s, and that's why we've been there for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't to get this bad, spooky man. He wasn't even in Afghanistan.
No, he was doing his laundry in Pakistan.
Yeah. I mean...
and then meanwhile...
we're occupied for 20 years.
And all the problems it caused here.
Oh, trust me. I mean, people... $2 trillion in spending. $2 trillion.
Lives lost.
2,500 soldiers, 4,000 contractors, 20,000 some odd. I saw those stats. 47,000 children and women, non-fighting civilians over there.
Yeah.
And another, almost that much in actual soldiers, Afghan soldiers, Afghan army, Taliban. Total human loss, 100,000 people.
So we have this mess. We have this mess in Afghanistan again. It's horrible what's going on. You have Russia and China sitting there. Russia's waiting to get back in and get their minerals. China's laughing at us again.
Oh, yeah. They're going to take our opium.
They want the minerals, too. We sold our soul to Russia. We closed our oil. We gave Russia oil.
I know.
And we're on vacation.
Yeah, not kidding.
Are people not connecting the dots of what's going on?
I know, Joey. I know. But listen, there's a lot of other podcasts we got to defer to.
I know. I'm sorry.
I would say watch like Steven Crowder.
This has been my week working from home.
Go watch Anomaly.
And I've been watching the news as I've been working.
Right.
It's the worst thing for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
I know. It's awful.
All right, so back to CBDCs. There's 5 countries. There are 5 countries that have...
The news is taking 40 minutes, by the way.
There's 60 minutes.
Are you ready?
Yes. Sorry.
There's 5 countries who have already released their CBDC and are piloting their programs. 81 countries are set for... they're piloting and working on CBDC. So will XRP be what we use for our CBDC, or will it be what we use to transmit all of them? So XRP could be the bridge asset that connects all of the currencies. And Jerome Powell says that it is of utmost importance and priority that we begin working on the CBDC. So we are piloting some different companies.
Crazy.
And a little curious thought, the World Economic Forum, one of the board members for the digital currencies is Brad Garlinghouse. So Ripple is connected to the WEF.
Not the Worldwide Wrestling Foundation.
Not the...
Along with Bank of America.
Wildlife Environment, or what is it?
WWE?
No, WWF.
Yeah, that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
But the World Economic Forum, that's WEF.
That's it.
And
so these are the NGOs that are pulling the strings. So follow the money.
Curious.
And what legislators of ours are behind all this? What Congress or senators are behind this for the United States? Who's going to make the money?
Oh, this is global.
I know, but it all filters down.
To us or to who controls us? I mean, really, like the Fed. Who are the shareholders of the Fed? That's what we need to talk about.
Let's see if Pelosi has bought coin. Let's see if she bought XRP.
Yeah,
let's see if,
probably has
let's
XRP.
Look and see what they've bought. Let's see the top tier senators of Congress, and let's take a look and see what their recent purchases are.
Yeah, or some of the banks. See if they've got any CBDC.
So
funds.
Bank of America has the most crypto patents already, and they are partnered with Ripple. So Ripple has some huge partnerships.
So have you seen any crypto centric ETFs?
In the U.S., they have not.
No,
they have not.
Because that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, and Canada is the first to have released their ETF, which those come at a premium, and it doesn't expose you to all of the volatility of crypto. So I think it's definitely going to legitimize. It's going to be good for the space. Right. It's going to bring a lot of the older boomer investors in.
Yeah, I do like the ETFs because they do historically offer dividends, and it's such a diversified asset because they invest in a bunch of things that you really never are holding the candle for just one, hope, like go Bitcoin, oh shit. Meanwhile, XRP, Ethereum, everything else is going, skyrocketing.
So Grayscale does have an ETF, and they have...
Grayscale does. Yes. And it's crypto-centric.
Crypto, also. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and they've just added some DeFi projects.
I'm going to see if I can't find it on
their
E-Trade.
Fund.
Find E-Trade.
Yeah. All right. Well, to close things out, I just wanted to follow up on some stuff that we talked about last week. So last week we talked about the hacker who stole.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was able to steal like 600
million.
He was able to drain some accounts, 600 million, and he has been reported after Poly Network called for him to return the funds. He has graciously returned the funds. They actually offered
all of it.
Okay, not all of it. Now,
so how much is he keeping?
Like $36 million.
Oh, that's enough to retire.
Is locked up actually in Tether. So Tether has locked it up because they went straight to social media, and Poly Network put the addresses, because it's all on-chain public, put the addresses on there and requested that any funds that were drained, that they lock those addresses from receiving or transacting. And so Tether has locked up like $36 million in Tether.
Wow.
So apparently the hacker, he declined the $500,000 reward that they were offering. Respectfully declined.
Why would you decline?
And
anyway, that's weird. That turn of events. Okay.
So also, he said that. Well, I don't know if he's claiming to be a white hat or what, but it's like as far as I know, they're letting him go without any penalty because he is returning the funds. He's attempting to even return the Tether funds that are there as well. And from what he's doing, though, claiming to be a white hat is that just going to be every hacker's out? It's like, I was just helping to test your network.
Oh, what an excuse.
Well, at the end of the day, they did help.
Yeah.
There is a course of action that you could track and now essentially mitigate without them having done that, whether successful or unsuccessful. Now, it sounds like he was unsuccessful. So, I mean, wear the hat. Get the job at corporate for $80,000 a year. You did good work, but now we need your talents to help find others. And I went over this last week.
Yeah.
I always want to be the anti-sniper, finding other snipers. But that's what you do. That's your role. Congratulations. If you, I would take the finder fee or whatever, reward fee. $500,000 ain't nothing to stand up to and turn your back from. At the end of the day, take the finder fee, get a nice corporate cush job, maybe with the SEC. It seems like they're doing a lot of investigation. Maybe help them out and expedite what's going on with XRP. Get in there and be like, guys, I can figure this out one day. Come here. Look what I just did. $600 million.
So we do have
a true marketplace.
Yeah. We have a true white hatter.
Okay.
Sam's son discovered a potentially critical security flaw in the code of SushiSwap's Miso platform and was able to saw a flaw in the code.
I'm not touching that one.
SushiSwap. So SushiSwap is a decentralized autonomous organization, and he found a defect in the code and found that he was able to withdraw $300 million worth of ETH that was exposed. He didn't withdraw it, but he found that it was exposed. So he did a test transaction to see if it was vulnerable, and it was. And he actually contacted the Miso platform, Miso SushiSwap.
I love it. It's a whole theme.
Yes, and he actually helped them to fix the problem. So he is a true...
That's a white hat.
Yeah, true white hat. And
white hats, first of all, they have no malicious intent.
Yeah.
Their intent is to find vulnerability, expose it, heal it, remedy, whatever it is, find the code, and then bring somebody's attention to it that could help it out. And that's what you do. So, again, if you're malicious and then all of a sudden if you fail, you become a white hat, that's not really the same thing.
Well, Bitcoin has been around for going on 12 years now, and Ethereum, has been around for a while. There's like 9,000 different cryptocurrencies and new ones that are ICOing every day. And it just goes to show when you swap for security versus speed, there's going to be defects and holes in your platforms. And everything is so new. The space is so new, and people are in a rush to get these products out and to get this tech, usable, that people make mistakes along the way. So that is one thing that Bitcoin and the Bitcoin network and, people complain all the time, like, oh, it's not going to be good for transacting and it's so slow. But the one thing that they do not compromise is security. So security over speed. Right. Yeah.
Liberty over safety.
There's a lot of money involved. Think about it. 600 million, 300 million. it's a $2 trillion. It's heading into a $2 trillion industry plus. So,
well, yeah. What's the whole market valuation today?
I thought it was $2 trillion.
I believe it's like right under $2 trillion. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
that's what I read.
That's a lot of coin.
It is a lot of coin.
1.91 trillion.
How much?
1.91 trillion.
That's a lot of valuation.
And Bitcoin's dominance is at 44%.
Wow.
It's a huge market share.
So 1.9, 44% of that.
But really, I mean, it's not that big, right? When you consider all of the money that's out there, how many trillions and quadrillions actually of money that's out there. And Bitcoin is this black hole that will suck in every single
thing. That's a great question, because I think especially with fiat currency, they were able to, let's say, for instance, everybody on Earth was contributing right now. So that's like 8 billion people, $2 trillion worth of network worth, whatever. So for easy arithmetic, let's just round it out to 10 billion people, $2 trillion in assets. The crypto market is. That means that everybody on Earth probably has close to like an annual salary in there. You know, if you were just broad, like we're talking like a broad paint stroke, right? But what if everybody did have a year's salary in there? You know, from the Amazonian whatever, you know, tribal leader, you know, who maybe makes $1 a day, you know, because they don't trade a whole lot. They're isolated from the rest of the planet. So that the tribal leader is making, you know, $1 a day.
Wait, does he have like a cell phone?
No, he's got a TomTom job.
I mean, like you got to get to them from like 3 different boats.
Yeah.
And it takes like 3 weeks to find this tribe because they're nomadic and they travel. So let's just say there's on that end, the extreme poverty end, where they're not making anything, $10, you know, and then you have like a good, let's say 1% American, you know, making $400,000 a year. You level it out, and that's about the valuation of the market. I want to say just hypothetically, there's $2 trillion and say everybody's contributing an annual salary. I would guess that that's more realistic, that $2 trillion of valuation, than all of these clocks, you know, from you know, the deficit clocks that are just ticking and ticking. It's like 28 trillion, 29 trillion. But that's all money spent by the government. That's probably never going to be paid back. So what real money, what real tangible money is available on Earth? It's probably not more than like 2 or 3 trillion. So I'm not sure like how much more money that's not exposed somehow. Because money, just because you borrow $30,000 doesn't mean it's available right now. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't mean like someone's holding that $30,000.
You're saying how much in the crypto market is actually liquid?
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good question.
I mean, because the deficit, that's not liquid. There's no way somebody could show up with enough gold, enough jewels, diamonds, assets, and to make up that. So there's a lot of like fluff. You know, it's you know, there's a liquid margin, and then there's the hypothetical fiat margin. You know, if you counted everything that somebody borrowed against and this and that, and then all this money's being spent, but there's not really that much money. Nobody bought that car for $30,000. They financed it. It's puff. It's like just a cloud that's waiting to be paid in, and then you get the title magically, you know, when you satisfy it. Anyway, the money amount being spent is not equivalent to the amount of liquid assets on Earth. There's no way. But that crypto valuation, I think, is a lot closer to the valuation of every asset on Earth. Anyway, so I'm wondering if there was enough equity, if equity was like a real thing. You know, if we all, as Earth people, as people of Earth,
people of the Earth,
decided to take every asset, put it one big pile, burn it down to one big magical globe of an asset. You know what I'm saying? Just all the way down, reduce it to its just fundamental whatever. And now it's a big sphere of just mixed assets. I wonder what that would look like and how much it would cost. And I bet if we all decided that it was worth 5, 6, whatever trillion, and then divided that between the 8 billion people, we probably all have a lot more equity, just as, you know, as people on Earth, sharing all of the Earth's assets, and you start there. You start there with like a real equity. Now this is like a very utopian fantasy. And,
I feel like I should be singing Kumbaya.
And I'm taking everybody there.
Yeah.
But I wonder what that would look like. Every asset divided equally. What number would that be?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to crunch some numbers and.
Yeah, nobody told me this show was gonna
meditate. I'm gonna have to go into like a meditation and see if I can get some.
I don't know.
I apologize.
Some answers.
but it's just so remarkable that we finally have something that possibly could put everything into some kind of relativity where it doesn't seem so like far out, far-fetched.
That's why the globalists
printing. Of course they don't want that. They've been doing to us like, there's an infinite amount of money, but there's not an infinite amount of resources.
No.
I mean, I could just say, I'm going to pay you $1 trillion an hour.
Money means nothing if you're stuck on an island without goods and services to trade.
Here's $1 trillion per hour job. Guess what? Guess how much that quarter pounder across the street's going to be? It's going to be
right.
A half a $1 trillion burger. It's so we can make up numbers all we want, and we create all these big exaggerated things. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, there is a finite amount of resource. Commodity assets, from diamonds to the real estate property to boats, again, everything.
And when you don't have a hard money, when Nixon took the dollar off of the gold standard, it became a fiat, which means by decree. So we are forced basically to recognize these paper notes.
Yeah.
What a segue to say goodnight.
Yes.
Right back from when we started to the 50th anniversary. How about that? Let's say goodnight.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the CryptoWave Podcast.
Deep in thought.
Wow.
Please like us, share us where you watch us, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date on the latest news, trends, and people that are making waves in crypto. If you are interested in learning how you can gain a competitive advantage into the new digital economy, you can find me at spacecoastcryptoconsulting.com. Anything else?
No, just thank you very much. Hope you have fun with us. Do like us. Give us the comments. Tell us you like us. Tell us we suck. Give us some reason.
Tell Joey he sucks.
Yeah, tell me that I suck so I can tell you to go F yourself too. Let's have some fun with this. Bye, everybody. We love you. Have fun. God bless America.